Hey lovely people, I'm back. I'm in the car away from the kiddos. All right. So I just wanted to come to you guys really quickly and talk about juice fasting, okay? And I wanted to talk about it because I talk about juicing so much, right? And I'm always recommending it for people with digestive issues and all sorts of issues, right? I'm always recommending juicing. All right. And so the topic I'm talking about in this video is not where you're just adding in fresh pressed juices into your diet. Really what I'm referring to is when you're replacing your meals, your meals, your fiber, your regular meals with juices, okay? And so that's a different beast altogether. All right. And the reason I wanted to talk about it is because the conception around it is, in my opinion, false. All right. And the first false premise is that you're fasting when in actuality you're not. You're not fasting because you're taking in calories via the juice. Anytime you consume 30 or more than 35 calories, you've broken a fast. And the only true fast means that you are not eliciting a response from your pancreas or your liver. And if you are taking in a certain amount of calories, you are automatically eliciting some sort of response from those organs. And so you are not on a fast, technically. Okay, the only way to technically fast is to have nothing, which is dry fasting, or if you're having water, which is no calories. Okay, those are the only two true fasting scenarios. All right, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, if you're not fasting, then what you need to do is you need to pay attention to consuming enough. And this is why I say that the thinking around juicing or juice fasting is incorrect, and it shouldn't even be called fasting, because when you think of it that way, what you do is you take in the calories, you've broken a fast, but then you don't consume enough calories, and then you don't get the results that you want, and then it becomes what other people in the health and wellness space call restrictive. In that case, yes, it is restrictive, because it makes no sense to break a fast, take in calories, and not consume what you need. Okay? So you're not fasting. I prefer the term juice feasting, and even juice cleansing is even better. Juice feasting is my preferred term, and others call it juice cleansing. That's more of an accurate reflection of what you should be engaging in when you replace your meals, your chewing meals, with juices. All right. So the first thing you've got to do, if you've never done this before, if you're jumping into, I jump into things, so I'm not going to tell you don't jump into things. Do your own research and jump into whatever you want to jump into. All right. But what I'm saying is you have to figure out what your caloric needs are, and you have to figure out what your caloric needs are based on your BMI, right? Not your current weight, because your current weight might be overweight. You might be obese, you might be overweight, you might be underweight. I really don't know. You know. But your BMI, if you calculate your BMI, what your BMI should be for your height, then you can calculate what your caloric needs are for that targeted BMI. And then you're going to want to try to consume as much calories as you can through the juice for that BMI. All right. Typically, usually, you need about, for females, a gallon of juice or a little bit more. And for males, a gallon and a half, maybe a little bit more. Typically. This is not like, I'm broad stroking with a very broad brush, okay? But that's typically around about what you're gonna need, okay? So calculate the calories that you need for your BMI, and then you're gonna need to consume that amount. You're also going to think about activity levels. Are you active? Are you training? Are you do you exercise? Are you breastfeeding? These are things that you need to consider. And I know I'm supposed to say, if you're breastfeeding, you should. That's not for me to tell you that. I'm not telling you that. You do what you do. I do what I do. Okay. But you got to consider these things. All right. You got to consider your actual caloric needs, and you need to satisfy those. You don't want over and you don't want under. Okay. All right. Now, when it comes to choosing the juices, I know people have a lot of rules. I want to call them silly rules, but I'm not going to call them silly rules. But there's like, your juices should be 80% greens and then this 20% fruit. I don't have any such nonsense rules. I wasn't supposed to say nonsense, but I did. I don't have any such rules, okay? just drink the juice you want to drink, all right? But what you have to do is you have to consider what's going on with your body. This is why I said those rules matter not to me. You got to consider what's going on with you. So for instance, if you have blood sugar issues, right? Everybody, oh, but the fructose, well, the fructose really isn't your problem. Hold on, somebody's trying to come talk to me. All right, I'm not trying to rob the place. I mean, what's up? Okay, so if you have blood sugar issues, insulin resistant issues is in response to glucose, right? And usually you have insulin resistant issues because of the fat in the blood, okay? Blood fats, and not so much sugar. Sugar really isn't your problem unless you're consuming processed sugar. Really what the real issue is with insulin sensitivities as it pertains to blood sugar issues is really a blood fat scenario, okay? And it's gonna take some time. If you're coming from one diet, like a standard diet, into this, yeah, you're gonna see that problem, right? Because you still have blood fat circulating, you still have fat circulating in the blood, and so it causes a problem with insulin, the cells responding to insulin and taking up the sugar. So you're gonna see that problem, and it's not really an issue so much with, like I said, the sugar. It's an issue with resolving the fats in the blood. Once that's been resolved, you're gonna see that taper down, or you should see that taper down. Now, another thing that you should know is that your insulin is really responding to glucose, not fructose. When you're juicing fruits, you're really consuming more fructose-based sugars, not glucose-based sugars. Now, glucose is going to be in fruits, it's going to be in greens, okay? It's going to be in your veggies, but the concentration levels is what you have to really consider. So if you're coming from if you're having blood sugar issues, right? What you should know, this is what I'm going to tell you, is that your fruits are going to have more of your fructose sugars. They're going to have glucose, yes, but they're going to be dense in your fructose sugars. And your veggies and your greens are going to have more of your glucose sugars, but not a lot because they're not sweet, okay? But then that's where your glucoses are going to be. But it's not, you don't have to worry about glucose in your greens, really and truly. It's not that much. Where you are going to have your glucose levels being a little bit higher is going to be in your root vegetables, okay? So like beets, carrots, sweet potatoes, those are going to be more glucose based, not fructose based, okay? Remember, fruits are going to be the fruit for fructose is going to be higher in your fruits, and the glucose is going to be higher in your in your sweet vegetables, what you would consider your vegetables. So like I said, your beets, your carrots, things like that, okay? And so those are things that you should keep in mind if you know you have blood sugar issues and you don't want to experience highs and lows in the first part of your juice journey. I don't know how long you're going to be juicing, but if you don't want to experience those high and lows in the first part of your juice journey, then you should know that, because like I said, it's going to take some time to resolve the fats in your blood, okay, and get your insulin sensitivity back on track. All right, so those are things that I wanted you guys to consider, is that you have to be mindful of the calories that you're taking in. If you're going to be juicing and you're not truly engaging in a fast, you may as well take in the calories that you need, or else you're going to be crashing. You know, you're going to be you're not going to feel well, and you're not going to get what you need out of your juice feast, okay? Because really what you're trying to do is you're trying to take away the taxing task of digestion, and you want to move more into absorption, okay? And so that's why you're juicing, is that, you know, that's what you're doing. You're trying to take away digestion and maximize absorption, okay? Also, you are consuming tons and tons of living water, all right? And the electrolytes that come with that, that's a very big deal. I really feel like the secret to why juicing is such a huge deal is because of the properties of the water that you're drinking, okay? So yeah, those are two things that you need to consider. If you have blood sugar issues, you should know what has the fructose, what has the glucose, what's really causing your blood sugar issues. It's your blood fat levels that take some time to resolve. So if you're going on a longer journey, you don't want the highs and lows, then you can strategize what types of juices you want to juice in the beginning, but be mindful that your vegetables are going to be lower in caloric density and your fruits are going to be higher in caloric density. I juice fruits. I have no issues, none whatsoever. I did have blood sugar issues before I went raw vegan many years ago. They were not, I didn't have anything like I wasn't diagnosed with pre-diabetes, or I wasn't diabetic. It wasn't like that, but I knew I had blood sugar issues. And that went away when I went high fruit. Okay, so fruits is not the cause of your blood sugar issues. I always laugh when people say it, because I'm thinking to myself, well, were you eating fruits when you developed your issues with blood sugar? No, you were not. So how are we blaming fruits for the for this problem? But in any event, yes, you can do it. It's not an issue. You just need to plan properly, and you need, you need nothing. But it would be nice if you could find someone who has some sense that can lead you through this thing properly, and experiment. Okay, experiment with yourself. Try in the beginning, like I said, if you have blood sugar issues, try in the beginning to go higher on your greens. Combine your fruits with the greens and the juices. I know that's another dogma. Oh, never combine fruits and greens and juices. Whatever, you're not really digesting, so that's not really a major issue here. Okay, when you're eating, when you're eating and you have digestive issues, these combinations matter, but you're not eating, you're drinking. These combinations are not as stringent. You are infusing your body with these vitamins and minerals, nice and easy peasy. Okay, and you're taking away the highly oxidative process of digestion. So you don't really have to worry too much about consuming the fruit sugars with the fruits with the greens. It's not a big issue. Another thing that people like to talk about is, oh, the fruit sugar is going to rush your blood and it's going to cause issues with the liver. No, it's really not. All right. And I know people love studies, so go look up the study that looked at blood sugar from drinking fresh pressed orange juice. Okay, people think that the insoluble fiber is the only thing that slows the absorption of sugar into the blood, but it's not. You have other phytochemicals that are present in the fruit and the vegetable that also slows the absorption of the fruit in the fructose, or the fruit sugars, into the bloodstream. All right. And what's sweeter than a nice fresh pressed orange juice? And that was studied. That was in the study that I'm referring to. It was studied. And they did identify the phytochemicals. They identified them, the phytochemicals that does slow the absorption of the sugar into the bloodstream. Another thing that people don't pay attention to, which doesn't get enough conversation, is the water. The water actually slows also the rushing of the sugar into the bloodstream. All right, so these things matter. They do matter. If you're going to go on a juice cleanse or a juice fast or whatever, not a juice fast, I really don't like that word, or a juice feast, then these are the things that I would consider as a first timer. Okay. Also, you got to put your budget in there too. I don't mix up a lot of different fruits, and I don't get too fancy with my juices because I just don't have time for all of that nonsense. It hurts the pocket as far as I'm concerned. There's no need for it. I just want a blood infusion, and so that's what I'm doing when I drink my juices. But I'm combining it. I'm putting it into my everyday diet. You guys are going on a juice cleanse. That's a little bit different. All right, and go for however long you determine. You decide how long you want to go for, not me, not anybody else. All right, I gotta go. Love you guys. Bye.